you doing? Blastoise uses footstool. It's super effective. Nice one. What's going on, everybody? SLB coming at you with another video review, and this time we'll be taking a look at TFC Toys P-004 Ironshell. And this is TFC's take on a G1 Snap Trap, their third in the line of their Poseidon line, their Piranacons. And really quickly, let's go over the box art here. Very nice picture on the front here of robot mode, beast mode, robot monster weapon. Oh no, he can't do the weapon mode, and combine. Top of the box, you just have your product shots, monster mode, robot mode, combine mode. Yes, we'll be looking at all three of these. On the bottom of the box, you just have your warning and all of your I completely had a brain fart right there. You just have your Facebook and all that other stuff that I can't read. On this side of the packaging, you can't see that, but that's robot mode. On this side of the packaging, you can't see that because that's the monster mode. And on the back of the packaging, you just have a very nice artwork there of Poseidon all combined and in a different pose is what we're used to, because every single box has a different pose. And that is it for the packaging. Let his get the brain start working. Let's get him out of the packaging and see what he looks like in hand. Alright, well, first off, I want to go over all the accessories. This guy comes with a bit of accessories. So let's go over the accessories first, and then I'll bring out the figure and I'll show you what he looks like in hand. So first and foremost, TFC Toys, always good with the collector cards, and there's your collector card of Ironshell or Snap Trap, whatever you want to call him, in his robot mode. It's the same artwork as on the back, on the box, and on the back you just have your tech specs there, which is very nice. I wish they would have included a collector card for the combined Poseidon, but maybe we'll get that with the last figure, I don't know. But here are also the instructions, and in the instructions you just get what's included and your mini comic book, which is really nice. Really nice. And it's nice that they tell you which figure is next in the line to be released. So there's that. And then you just get your instructions for robot mode and then combine mode. I will say this right off the back, they skip some steps in the instructions. It's a little bit of a downer, but you can persevere and figure it out. But it's just very frustrating that they skip some steps, and the way the pictures are, it's not very clear, and I'll go over that. One big gripe I have when I get into my final thoughts towards the end there. But yep, there's that instruction book. He also does include his robot mode gun here, which is very nice. I love the molding on this. I think it's really great. It fits the motif, if you will, of all the other. Now let's get this. This is Cyberjaw's gun here, but it fits the motif. Unfortunately, this barrel does not collapse into here, but it does fit the motif that, you know, elongated barrel with a very massive gun. So I like that. It keeps that same trend going with that, and it's very nice colors too, I will add. I love this green with this pinkish faded pink here and this maroon color here. I think that looks really great. My question is, there's slots on either side here. There's hole, and this part, you flip up, there's a hole there. Does this mean that this is going to combine to form a bigger weapon? Now I know with the Poseidon figures that there's 6 figures in all, and 1 figure stands off to form the weapon. But is this going to be a combined weapon? Who knows? Because you can stick this and flip it up like this. And there's a lot of configurations you can do. But it just makes you wonder. It's just one of those things that make you go, you know? But it is what it is. That's it for the gun. Also included are his quote-unquote melee weapons. Just some gray handles that pop out here. and it fits the same color scheme that the other weapons have gone with the pink and silver, and I think it looks great. And combine these together, and I think that looks really gorgeous. I mean, I like it. It's got a very aquatic look to it, mixed with a little bit of tribalness, which looks really cool. Really cool. I really do like that. I do dig that quite a bit. Unfortunately, in the instructions, they don't go over. Well, here, let me show this really quick. You also get this giant staff thing here. It doesn't fit in robot mode. It does fit in the combined mode hands. It just comes together in separate pieces like this, like that. And it's the same thing on this side, but I've got this. Let's do that. See? It comes apart, numerous pieces, and I'm dropping stuff on the floor. Oh god, stuff is going everywhere. Let me do this. You get 2 of these as well. These things go in there super solid, super tight, so you can kind of tell I've got some teeth marks on this. But these things, let's see how we can do it. There we go. You do it like that, you do it like that, and there's could be one handle for a melee weapon, or you put them all together and you got a staff and all that. And this part stays in there to keep everything secure, and you do get extra bits of these, and something's falling on the floor and whatever. It's a hot jobbled mess, which I do like. I do like the fact that you can do different variations on a giant melee weapon. Hopefully with the last figure, or one of the figures coming up, we'll get instructions on how to connect all these things. But for right now, this is all they give you. Let's see if we can just put this back together really quick. Boop, boop, boopy doo, boop, boop, boo. Nope. There's not enough male and female ends to justify keeping it together in one piece, but we shall persevere, people, because that is what we do. That is what we do, and this is dragging on for a while, and I'm sorry and I apologize, but there you go. There you go. Hopefully you'll get instructions for those. And now let's move on. Let's bring the figure in frame here and see what he looks like, shall we? Okay, well, here is Ironshell in hand and out of the packaging, and right off the bat, he's got some major heft to him. There's a lot of weight in this guy. Why they did that, not 100% sure, but the look of this guy is amazing. Let's go over just the way he looks first and foremost. That head sculpt looks splendid. I mean, it just looks, I got some plastic flash here, what I call plastic flash here, but that head sculpt is just a mean looking turtle that looks awesome. And the overall flow of the figure looks really good. I like the molded detail here all throughout. It looks really good. Same thing on the back here. I like the way they covered up some bits back here with these parts right here. And again on this side, same on that side. And on the top here, I love the way this looks. I really do like the way this looks, just gorgeous. I like the silver mixed with the green and the maroon, which looks really good. And underneath, not a whole lot going on underneath, but it is what it is, people. Alright, so let's go over articulation for this guy. Let's start with the head here, because the head's really cool. It's got a really cool gimmick here. The head, if you detach it, you break his neck. But if you want him to look up, there's an extra bit right back here that stays pegged in. So this is a little loose on mine, but you can get him looking different directions and looking up, which looks really good. But if you want a standard, stationary pose, you can get that. The mouth can open. It does take some finagling. You just gotta get your nail underneath that. There you go. And his mouth does open. Very wide, I might add. And these teeth, like everything else, are a little sharp, so be careful. But That looks really cool. This part of the head can move up and down. Right here, there's a joint here, and there's a joint here, so you can get some back and forth movement. You can get, there is a ball joint. Now, well, you can see it right in here, so you can kind of bend his legs in a little bit if you want to, or keep them out. Ball joint at the bottom here, so you can get some really nice foot poses out of that. And same thing on the back. There's a not a ball joint, but it's a swivel here. So you can swivel like there, swivel here, and the same ball jointed feet right here. And if you really wanted to, you can have him sit down, which I think is neat. I like that. I think that's cute. It's like, I'm sitting. Can I have a treat? Can I have a treat? I'm sitting down like a good turtle. Anyway, moving right along, let's get into some comparisons, shall we? Let's get into some comparisons here. Let's bring in the rest of the sideline that we have right now. Here is Cyberjaw. And here is Big Bite here. And I'm going to say this right off the bat. I hope that he's not the only figure with that color scheme. I hope another figure down the line has this same color scheme, because I think it's going to look really awkward if all of them have this color scheme, whereas this is the only guy with this color. It's just going to look really awkward, and everybody's just going to make him the gun. I think that's a big step down for TFC Toys if they go that route. No, I have seen pictures of other figures, and I think another one of them is going to have this color scheme, so that makes me really happy. I hope it's just not 2. You know, we're getting 6 figures. You know, give me 3 with this color scheme, and the other 3 with this color scheme, and I'll be happy. Or give me, you know, give me Liberty, or give me, no, I'm just joking about that. But I do hope that the color scheme differs from just these type of colors here. But that's for a comparison for those guys. Now let's go over some thoughts on this figure here. He is an amazing turtle mode. I do love the turtle mode. I love the insane light piping that you get right here, which I think is great. Not quite necessary for an animal mode or beast mode, but you know, it's a turtle. It doesn't really do much. You can't put the weapons anywhere on here. I've not found any place to hide his weapons, but you don't really need them because you've got these cannons up here which just pull right out, and you can get, I should have done this when I don't want articulation, but they can point up like that, point down, you can turn them, get them side to side like that. I mean, and the tolerances on this are really good. I really do like them. There's just some screws there if you have any questions about, you know, tightening or loosening the tolerances. A little squeaky, but you know, it is what it is. And I just think he looks great in beast mode. I really do. Let's get him in combined mode now and see what the combined mode looks like, shall we? Okay, I got him partially transformed here because this is one of my main issues with this figure. I was talking to someone on a Facebook group I belong to, Transformers and such, and I was talking to another reviewer, 6-Shot review, and I was having so many issues with this, and I figured out what to do. Now, the main issue, one of the big issues I have with this figure is clearance. And this is one of the biggest examples, because the combined mode head is right there, and first off, there's no real good way, there we go, to get him out unless you push him down. Now, how am I going to do this? Let's do it front ways like this. So the way the instructions tell you is just to push him forward like that. Unfortunately, you've got some clearance issues right here. Some things that, you know, they just can't help. What I've found to be very helpful is if you just turn him slightly and start fishing him through, which, how did I do this? Of course, I'm doing this on camera, so it's not going to work. There you go. If you start turning him and then fish it through and then turn it again, flip it up, there we go. you're going to get him through just fine. Now, let me finish this up off camera, and let me show you what the combined mode looks like. Okay, well, here he is in combined form, and with the clearance issues of the combined mode head aside, I still think this looks great. Bloop. Let's go over some comparisons really quick. And the only other, combiners I have at the moment are Combiner Wars Grand Galvatron and Menasori. Yes, I do have Onslaught, but I just want to get these two guys here so you can see what he looks like with them. And he's just a beast. I mean, there. He's just a beast. He looks beefy. Beefy, beefy, beefy. Have I said beefy recently? Beefy. I'm not going to go over articulation. I'll go over articulation when I get all the combiners together and I'll get them in combined form. My one issue I do have with him is a certain gap issue right here. Yes, there are panels right here. It doesn't fill the gap. It just holds everything in place, and I think that is kind of a setback because he kind of reminds me of those women back in the day that would tighten their garters to make their waist like this big. And I think that's kind of a notch in the not good column. I don't know what I'm talking about here. But that's it for combined mode. Just want to get you to look at him and see how cool he looks in combined mode. He does look cool. I do like that head sculpt. I really do like it. I like the insane light piping you can do with it. But just some minor gripes and issues. Let's get him in robot mode and see what he looks like in robot mode, shall we? Alright, well, here he is in robot mode. And let's just go over articulation first. Articulation. Head is on a ball joint, can do all kinds of wiggly waggly movement. Can look up very little, can look down very little. The arms, the shoulders here are on a very tight ratchet. Issue number one, the backpack here. As nice as it looks, from the front, it hinders the arm articulation. The arm can do a full 360. It's just this giant backpack here is in the way. Bicep swivel, bend. You kind of have a double bend at the elbow here. You got a bend here and a bend here. The wrists are on a mushroom peg, and you can do a full 360. And issue number two, super loose hands. A very big issue I have with this figure is I have super loose that pop out really easily. And it's not that difficult to pop them back in. It's just there's just pieces all along this area that this hand gets caught in. So moving right along here, the index finger has a bend right there, and that is separate molding from the rest of the hand, rest of the fingers, so you get some articulation there. Let's raise the arms up. Can do a full 360 waist rotation there. The legs can go forward that much. If you kind of finagle this skirt a little bit, can only go back about that much there. Full outward movement there. No bicep swivel up here. There is a swivel at the knee though, and a very nice ratcheted knee joint right there. And the feet here are super articulated. You can get ankle breaking articulation there, but there's a ball joint right here and a swivel, so you can get some movement there. That head sculpt is gorgeous. Very, very nice. I do love that. And insane. Sorry. insane light piping as well with this guy. Unfortunately, due to the backpack, you can't really get a light back there. I mean, it kind of stinks and sucks, but it is what it is. Just the rest of him looks really good, really nicely detailed. I love the scale look of him. I think he looks really, really good. Let's get the weapons in here, because I told you I'd show you what the melee weapons look like. Here's one of the melee weapons. And see how that, if he's holding it out straight, how is that a melee weapon? If anything, that's going to hit him. I mean, that just confuses me a little bit. Unless he's just going from the bottom and going up like that, but that's just me. Let's get his blaster in here. You cannot open his hand and just throw the blaster in there. It's not, I've tried and I tried and I tried and I just can't do it. So what you gotta do is get the green part in there, close it up, or close up the index finger super tight. Super tight. Close up the index fingers. Slowly bring this part down and underneath, and then bring the other fingers in. And then, there you go. And he holds that very, very nicely. I mean, the super ratcheted arms, elbows there, he's not letting go of that anytime soon. That just looks awesome. Just awesome. Let's get the weapons off here. Let's get the weapons off. Let's get into some comparisons. Let's get him centered. Let's get him right there, because we got a lot of comparisons to go through here. And then I'll just go through some final thoughts. Alright, comparisons. Let's get the other Poseidon guys in here. Here is broke Cyberjaw's neck. Here's Cyberjaw. And here is Big Bite. And I like the way they look together. Sorry. A little mistransform there. I like the look of the figures in robot mode. I do think they look good together. Again, it's that color scheme issue that I have. That I hope he's not the only one with this color scheme, because it's just going to throw everything off if he is. But I think that looks good. I really do. I like the way they look together. They look cohesive. They look like a team, minus the color scheme. So there are those two. Let's get into some Combiner Wars here, just for comparisons. Here he is next to Menasor. And where'd the other one go? He's here somewhere. Hold on. Hold that thought. Here he is. Here is Cyclonus. For comparisons, give you an idea of how tall he is. I mean, this guy is beefy and tall and looks mean. I love it. And the coup de grace, here he is next to Masterpiece Soundwave and Masterpiece Thundercracker, and for giggles, Transform Mission Disorder. Just so you can get a Masterpiece scale of him, and he is in scale with Masterpiece. And just for funsies, Rumble. Why not? But there he is. I'll compare it up with some Masterpiece and third-party figures to give you an idea of what he looks. I think the scale is great. I think this guy is going to be great combined together. The main issues I have are there are severe clearance issues with the Combiner mode head. And if this was a separate piece, if this backpack was a separate piece that just connected on and connected off, I think it'd be fine. But the fact that it's all connected right here, and it's all connected. It's just a major frustrating hassle because you have to swivel it around to get the combine mode together, and then swivel it back to get into robot mode and monster mode and all this stuff. And I think that's a big, not letdown, but a big flaw in my opinion. Because there's ways that you could have countered that with just making this separate and making sure that it connected sturdy. I know a lot of chess pieces for TFC, like with their Hercules and Uranus and all that, the chess pieces didn't quite securely fit on there. But yes, this is a way for it to securely fit on, but it gets in the way of posability for the robot mode. I mean, it's not flush against the back, so that way you can do it. It's just a personal issue. It's a very personal issue. Your mileage may vary. Take with it what you want. This is just my opinion. I do, however, feel that the feet here, the fact that the turtle feet don't fully disappear, is a bit of a appearance issue of mine, a very small bit. It's very cohesive down here in the foot, but the problem I have is right here is just a giant turtle foot sticking out of his elbow. He should go see a doctor for that. I like the way that, you know, they form the heel down here. It's just up here. It's just a turtle foot coming out of his elbow. The colors are great. Don't get me wrong, this is a good figure. I highly do recommend you pick him up if you're going with the Poseidon line. Just know what you're getting into with clearance issues. The tolerances are good. The tolerances are nice and tight. Especially with the combiner, the hips right here and these shoulder bits right here. Those tolerances aren't going where. And if you notice, there are these giant pegs that come out the robot mode arms that actually, for combined form, peg into the side here, giving them an extra stable point so they're not going everywhere and going to loosen up on you. And also there's parts here that connect to this part to keep it steady. So when you got the combiner mode arms on there, it's not going to loose up on you. And speaking of combiner pegs, these things are super tight. I'm not joking. I know this is going to piss everybody off, but I had to use this and a napkin to get those out of there, to get the combiner pegs plugged into to mess around with them. So that is what that is. All in all, this is a good figure. It's a very solid figure. You're going to have some clearance issues. Get this figure. Pick them up. Let me know what you think if you had this figure in the comments section down below. This is SLB, and this has been my review of Poseidon TFC Toys P-004. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Find me on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. All that information will be in the description down below. Support me on Patreon. A link for that will be in the description down below. And this is SLB, and this has been my review of TFC Toys P-004 Ironshell. And this is SLB saying, my childhood hates me.